I may say so
and you're
very
creating.
quickly,
Hang on,
Piers.
you spoke. I'm speaking.
No,
I'm speaking.
I'll
You spoke.
reply.
This is, I mean,
And I'll reply.
Hello.
What is the tripwire for the general public? It is children. It is people learning that their children are being taught nonsensical things. It is being seen by the wider public, most of whom are heterosexual and don't need to identify as cis or anything else. It is being seen from that vantage point as the LGBTQIA+ movement losing control of itself. And so a backlash is starting. And the backlash is coming because people are lying to children and are using children for medical experiments. There's nothing funny about that. There's nothing that should cause levity in that. It should be treated by adults seriously.
Now, back on the trans issue, when you're talking about LGBTQ, what you've just done there is basically say that the whole of America, who have historically had a problem with gay marriage, are now turning on it because a couple of children in a classroom in Sussex want to be a cat. If you can't see the ridiculousness in that argument, I can't help you.
Douglas Murray remains notorious for his complete disdain for the lies propagated by the far left against gender ideologies of society. He was in no mood to thread softly as he debated leading leftist journalist Sabrina over gender ideologies in schools and especially among young children. Welcome to today's video. If you are new to this channel, do well to hit the like and subscribe button to stay updated on all our latest videos. Douglas Murray, despite being gay, has refused to be swayed to blindly support the madness of the transgender movement. In his words, the onslaught of the gender-affirming movement should not be treated with levity when children are involved. This is the line that should not be crossed. He also has made it clear on multiple occasions that the extremity of the transgender movement has trickled down on a path to reawake the hatred of society for homosexuality. The idea that there is an infinite number of genders and that anyone can just self-identify as a cat or a horse is preposterous and endangering to the LGBT community. Douglas Murray is not new to controversy or backlash, being at the very center of Europe's fight against illegal immigration and Islamization. Douglas is built for the attack and cancels the tactic employed by the woke media. He has been described as a bigot, a fearmonger, and many other words used by the woke left. His conservative views have not been taken seriously by those who disagree with his views, but it seems the accomplished author does not mind being canceled by the extreme left, as he continued his attack, especially against the indoctrination of gender dysphoria among school children. Children are being lied to and deceived by teachers to believe lies about their biology. They are led to make decisions that they are way too young to understand the gravity and consequences of. School teachers have left the noble discipline of instilling knowledge, but are now more focused on spreading disinformation among those handed over to them for nurturing. It is saddening that many children and their parents have been deceived into undergoing the so-called gender-affirming care, which has ruined many lives and left many in regret to this day. Many would have thought that being a self-proclaimed gay man, Douglas Murray would dance to the tune of Sabrina, who is a journalist and LGBT activist. But the author is bent on proving that even homosexuals see the madness in men claiming to be women and women claiming to be men. The downside of this is a mass number of young people being confused about basic biology. Young women now have to contend with grown men in sports activities designed just for women, and sadly, the general public is being forced and cajoled to turn a blind eye to this daylight robbery. No one suddenly has the right to address biological females as women. They are now to be addressed as birthing persons and other derogatory terms. It's reassuring to see accomplished authors and publicists like Douglas Murray speaking up against this attack on humanity. Many well-known authors, public figures, and in this case, homosexual influencers have stayed quiet on this issue in order not to risk losing the favor they enjoy amongst the woke media. But Murray has proven that he is not one of such, who need the false admiration of others. He would point out any madness in reasoning as soon as he recognizes it. During this particular debate, journalist Ava deflected to the popular argument that Douglas Murray was a fearmonger who enjoyed blowing issues out of proportion. But the truth is that the issue of child indoctrination into transgender ideologies is already off the limit on issues that should be treated lightly. The media has consistently ignored the dangers associated with the so-called gender-affirming surgery. Time and time again, they have refused to respond adequately to the pleas of those who have detransitioned and have had to go through painful changes changes in their life experience. A lot of children who were deceived into cutting up their genitals and administering hormones at very early ages to prevent them from experiencing the wrong puberty have now matured to discover that they were sold a lie all along. The pleas of these young people and those of their grieving parents have been silenced by the woke media to get as many as possible deceived into this insanity. But Douglas Murray and a few bold names like him are out to set the record right and call out the futility of the transgender movement. Ava Sabrina did her best to defend the transgender movement on young children while on the Piers Morgan Uncensored show. But Douglas Murray showed the difference between himself and the impressionable young children who are the real ones at the mercy of the deceit of the woke culture. Following the same tactic used by the rest of the woke media, Ava tried to call out Murray's career and probably set him up for cancellation, but the seasoned author made it clear that he knew Ava's stand as one of those who only have a platform because they support the woke culture. It's quite sad that these media bullies are willing to end the careers of real talents and elevate anyone who would pander to the delusion of trans ideologies. The woke media have infiltrated every aspect of our society today. Modern literature itself is at risk of the bullying of the woke left, as even words have lost their meanings. It started with the abandonment of biological facts and principles, and soon a full-fledged war was waged on pronouns, other parts of speech, and communication. Who would have thought that addressing a man as he and a woman as she would be the subject of many debates in the 21st century? It has become so severe that even academic texts and literary relics may be rewritten to suit the taste of this egoistic media machine. It's saddening the amount of people who have fallen for this ploy, but a few like Douglas Murray are well aware of this madness. Hollywood and entertainment is now a major puppet in the hands of the extremist left who bully every creative and try to force them to bend to their own beliefs. We have seen cancel culture lead to the untimely deaths of the careers of many big stars in the movie industry. Actors and directors are silenced and bottled to the extent that one wonders what has happened to creative freedom. The once boisterous field of art and performances has now been corrupted by one-sided and biased stories of false inclusiveness. The dignity of young women is now something to be debated, as strange, narcissistic, ego-driven men believe that they have the right to share the same bathroom with women, and the jurisdiction of the day seems to actively be in support of this insanity. It's no wonder that men like Douglas have had enough of the muzzling and silencing by the woke media, and are now finally saying enough to the madness. Politics is now under their control, and a country that used to be the beacon of liberty cannot defend the basic freedom of speech that its citizens once enjoyed. Laws are now made against citizens, all because the government in place is out to please a certain category of people. Comedy and journalism are not left out, as no one is allowed to think for themselves. Everyone is obliged to read from the handbooks handed over to them by the woke media. No one knows what the truth is anymore. No one is allowed to laugh at a good joke, and everyone is taught to be bitter, sadistic, and offended by every word or gesture. The population is constantly being pitted against each other, and the nation's disunity is what the woke culture seems to be pandering at every given opportunity. Even the educational sector isn't safe, and it now seems like the universities and colleges have been lost to this insanity. Institutions that used to be the haven for the acquisition of knowledge are now filled with miscreants darkening the young minds given to them with unscientific and unverified ideologies that lack any place within the walls of human existence. The basic education of children should not be allowed to fall under this madness, as the children are the future, and being the most helpless in society, every adult must do the most to ensure that the interests of children are defended at all costs. Douglas Murray stands relentless on this belief, and no amount of hounding from the woke left seems to be enough to shake his resolve. Thank you so much for sticking around till the end of this video. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.